my help, but this is not about Kandace. This is about the fact that she told me that her underage daughter is being sexually molested and or raped by a family member. Now, she wants to be angry with me because her child has been taken from her and put with her abuser. Now, Kandace Edwards being afraid for her daughter is a very real fear because it is a very real situation. Kandace herself has had to go through that. I, myself, have had to go through that. I can feel for Kandace on that level. I do not believe that she is anywhere close to being capable of raising children without a lot of fucking assistance. And even with that, a lot of assistance, I really don't think that she's going to be able to raise children without damaging them the same way that my mother did. If Kandace Edwards' daughter comes to her and says she was assaulted, is Kandace Edwards going to turn it in? Or is she going to whine about it? Or is she going to talk about herself? Or let's apply how she's treated me. All right, Kandace Edwards, you fucking moron. Let's call this Use Your Brain 101 or Common Sense 101. Your daughter is obviously at risk. She is an at-risk child in the same way that I am an at-risk adult. If a crime is committed against your child, i.e., somebody beats her up or rapes her, what do you do? What are you supposed to do? Let's go through this. According to you, your child was raped by her cousin. Raped by her cousin. What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to go to well, you are the friend or family member. Your daughter went to the friend or family member she was supposed to go to. Did you help her to turn it in? Just so everyone knows, Kandace Edwards lives in Alabama. Her daughter lives in Alabama. Her daughter was abused by her cousin in Alabama, currently lives with that cousin in Alabama. So what is the right thing to do here? The right thing to do is to turn it in. Who do I call that's going to listen to me? This would work out a lot better if Kandace Edwards made the call. I don't know the victim's name. I don't know the predator's name. I know what she's told me. She's told me that it's her daughter's 13-year-old cousin. Now he's 14. Okay, your daughter's 14-year-old cousin is raping your daughter. If your daughter told you that she's being raped, told you that she's being molested, why didn't you utilize the time while I had that hotel room We could have made that call together. If you live in Alabama, or if you live anywhere else in the United States, I want you to call any office, any police agency in Alabama. Any of them. It doesn't matter which one you fucking call. By law, they're supposed to fucking transfer it to where it needs to go. If they have to find out who Kandace Edwards is, her picture is on the front of this. You can see what Kandace Edwards at least claims that she looks like. You can go to her website on Facebook. A small person with a huge voice. She's got a podcast, too. You can get a hold of her, and you can reach out to her and say, hey, there's this asshole claims that your daughter is being fucking raped. I want to help you turn it in. All of you who hate me, that's something you can do. You can help Kandace Edwards get her daughter into a different place. I don't believe for one moment that her kid should be with her. Obviously, she's throwing up some serious red flags, like thinking that the Illuminati had something to do with her birth. Only under strict fucking supervision she should be allowed with her kids. The fact that she's going to ignore all of the legal protocols that I have to go through, and why, and she's going to chalk it all up to, because I'm autistic, I'm going to heaven with 139,999 other homeless people. Sorry, 143,999 other autistic people is what I meant. Now, I stopped counting after 6. I stopped listening to the video at that point because my computer was being a pain in the ass. But how is it that she's going to learn a goddamn thing that is useful when she's busy telling me about 144,000 autistic people going to heaven because her nutjob friend claims that the Bible says all of those 144,000 going to heaven, they're all autistic people. The Bible does not fucking say that. That is not what the Bible fucking says. That's not in any goddamn book in the fucking Bible. I have read the Bible. I am tired of Christians who have not read the book selling me bullshit. If you honestly believe that's what it says in the fucking book, English is not your first fucking language. This guy sounded as thick and southern as Kandace did. Holy shit. No, I'm not going to believe for one fucking second that he's a Mexican national. He's certainly not fucking French. When a crime is committed against me, I'm supposed to go to the police, right? Well, if you're an at-risk adult and you're homeless, you're probably going to get blown off. Who you're supposed to go to first is a friend or family. As an at-risk adult or as a child, you are supposed to go to a friend or family member when you are abused, because they're supposed to fucking care about you. They're supposed to care when you're fucking harmed, but my family spent my life victimizing me, taking advantage of me, giving me empty promises. And ripping me off for every goddamn penny I ever earned. My mom had 4 kids. All 4 of her kids have been locked up for things that she's done or things that literally never happened. My mom is fucking queen bitch when it comes to manipulating stupids. She's very good at manipulating stupid people in the name of Jesus. The rest of the time, shit, she don't mind being a pedophile and having sex with underage high school students that are friends of mine. It don't matter that she's got a husband. She doesn't fucking care. She only believes in God when it fucking suits her. Now, if you're going to at least 6 times in just a small portion of one of the conversations that, of course, without that hotel room, I'm not going to be able to sit someplace long enough without being harassed or harmed. And I have to fucking believe you when you're showing me that you're full of shit. But you know what? It doesn't matter, because I don't give a fuck about Kandace Edwards at this point. I absolutely fucking care about the fact that her daughter is a victim who is being fucking ignored. No victim left behind, not even if you're mad at her mom. No victim left behind. No victim left behind. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am, and my sister's as well. Kandace Edwards told me about child abuse. One of the many things that when she wanted to interrupt me and make it about herself, her kid has been taken. I know her kid has been taken, and I will fucking speak up immediately. Do I agree with her kid getting taken? Well, yes, I do. But I do not agree with stuffing her child with her fucking predator. Let me tell you how wrong that is. When I try to turn in Scott DaCosta because he harmed me over and over again, and then you tell me to turn it into Scott DaCosta, well, that's like this girl saying that her cousin raped her. Her cousin raped her. She told her mother that her cousin raped her. And the foster family that she is living with is with the cousin who raped her. Fuck what Kandace wants. Get that girl safe. I get that optimally what Kandace wants is for her daughter to be with her. Well, as long as she doesn't think that she's a product of the Illuminati and some birthing network, some modern Ladensborn. When you're telling me that the Illuminati had something to do with your birth, I really have a hard time with imagining that that is a safe place for any child. Between you and somebody who's raping them, well, I can't trust you not to kill your own kid if you have an episode. See, that's the thing about, well, Scott Scudder, for example. He got his girlfriend pregnant. He's also schizophrenic. He's been diagnosed as schizophrenic. While you, my predators, want to pretend that I'm schizophrenic, this man has been diagnosed as schizophrenic. I get that Stephanie Larkin was able to hide a bunch of stuff. I mean, I didn't find about her fucking craziness with the tarot cards and the fucking psychic readings and all of this shit until after she'd gotten her daughter back. If I'd have known that, I wouldn't have spoken up for her and her daughter on my channel. And I absolutely did. Imagine how mortified I was when the day I find out that she's got her daughter back is when she starts telling me all this crazy schizophrenic shit. Oh. My fucking beard is unmanageable. I gotta keep it from curling up and tickling my face. It happens. Goose faba and all that. With Caitlin Edwards, sorry. I know a Caitlin Edwards. Honest mistake. Kandace Edwards. No victim left behind. With the way that Kandace literally goes out of her way to not hear a word that other people are saying, to go out of her way to, we're supposed to just believe that she can't control her mouth. I can absolutely control my mouth. I don't. I don't for a reason. I try telling you nicely and you talk over me and throw me a bunch of different directions. I talk nicely and I try to explain it to you and you talk over me and in a bunch of different directions. Then I try to explain to you how hurtful it is, how what you are doing literally pushes people to suicide, and you do it again and again and again and again. That's when you start pushing it heavy. You're going to do it every time now. I didn't keep my word. I used the word promise 3 times in a row. I used the word promise, right? Kandace Edwards, 3 times in a row. Go back and listen to all of our messages. Just so you know, if you try to destroy them, I recorded them. They're recorded on my audio recording device here. This right here is not nearly as good as having a human being make a phone call with me. All this does is catch people breaking the law, but still without a friend or family member who gives a shit, it doesn't make any difference, does it? Maybe Kandace will try to get on my channel and destroy evidence. Maybe she'll try to destroy my entire channel. Maybe she'll work together with Stephanie Larkin and Jan Hansen to fucking gang stalk me. I don't know. Whatever hell they have in store for me, I'm sure it pales in comparison with where I'm willing to go to get Kandace's daughter safe. How many times have police pressed false charges on me because I had to protect children? Had to. I'm not going to look the other way to children going through that. I grew up in the system being raped, being beaten, being drugged, being told that it's my fault. I was sent on a tour of hard-ass juvenile facilities. Why was I sent on this tour of juvenile facilities in my youth? Was it because I was a violent child? Was it because I was a mean child? No, it's because I was in the system. Now, many of y'all, you have cousins who are in the system because they raped their little sister. Well, that son of a bitch belongs there. Some of you got cousins in the system because they killed your grandparents. Well, those son of a bitches belong there. But then there's straight programs, right? The Scared Straight program, that's one of the ones that's supposed to scare naughty kids into not becoming career criminals. I went into the system when I was 4, asshole. I wasn't a career criminal. My mom couldn't have me because she couldn't stay off of fucking cocaine. My dad couldn't have me because he got busted selling cocaine. Imagine that. So I grew up in the system getting raped and getting beaten, and as a male, it's obviously my fault. I must have chosen it. What do you tell a male who is abused? Hey, you shouldn't have been there. You shouldn't have been there. You shouldn't have been there. car is running rough. Let's see if we get some extra stuff running and then we turn it off. Maybe it'll run better. Nope, it's running rough. I don't believe that I don't believe that Stephanie Larkin should have custody of her daughter or of any of her children, but it's too late for me to take it back. I spoke up for her, and people who wouldn't help me were willing to help Stephanie. She was able to get her kid back, and then that's when I found out what a fucking stark raving lunatic the lady is. Holy fuck, that's scary as all hell. Now with this Kandace Edwards lady, I don't want to make that same mistake. I don't want Kandace Edwards to have access to her children unsupervised. But I'm absolutely not going to allow a child to be stuck in an environment with her predator where he has access to her over and over and over again. How long has this been going on? How many times has that cousin been able to rape or molest Kandace Edwards' daughter in the time that she's been there? How many days has that girl been there? What are the chances that she's victimized every day? She certainly would have to live in fear every day. I think Kandace Edwards' daughter should have the right to speak up for what she needs. Her needs, not Kandace's wants. Kandace wants to say her daughter was taken. Well, for good reason. You are an unfit fucking goddamn parent. You are an unfit fucking parent. However, there are other foster homes in Alabama. There is a good chance that your daughter will end up in a shitty fucking foster home. As long as you continue to fight for custody of her, she'll be shipped from foster home to foster home to foster home until you finally give up. And by then, she's almost 18. She's just going to age out of the system. She won't have a steady family or a steady family environment. But if you help her to get away from that cousin that you are telling me is raping her, even if it's not with you, she might get a good foster home. If it is a good foster home, I guarantee you she will fucking speak up about how it's a good foster home, about how she doesn't want to leave there. That's the best you can hope for out of me, Kandace Edwards. That's the kind of help that I was able to provide for Amy Witcher's children. Sorry. Not Amy Witcher's children. Amy Kalina Kingery's children. When Rihanna Ingersoll was beating them. Rihanna wasn't raping them. She wasn't molesting them. Yes, she sexually assaulted me. No, I didn't turn it in. I should have, but nobody would have listened. I've got the penis. I am absolutely not going to promote Kandace Edwards getting her daughter back. Maybe, over time, if she can show that she can manage her schizophrenia, I believe that she should be allowed to have visitation with her daughter. Not unsupervised, but I believe she should have it. Even if schizophrenic. Even if delusional, even if she thinks that the Illuminati had something to do with her birth, that doesn't mean that Kandace should not be allowed to see her daughter. Hell, I think that they should allow her visitation with her daughter every day. Just supervised. I don't think that putting her daughter in a scared straight type of program of government facilities where she's going to be abused. Literally going to. You cannot stop abuse in those kind of places. You cannot stop an innocent person from being victimized over and over in those kind of places by people who are criminally minded children. Yes, most of those children who are locked up in those facilities are products of long-term abuse. That kid who killed his grandparents, he had a hell of an excuse, but he still fucking hacked them to pieces. The kid that I was locked up with that would brag about raping his sister to death. Staff members would tell him that's not appropriate, but this is in a group with like 8 to 12 other children in it. In a permanent lockup facility, some of these kids are never going to see the light of day in their lifetime. That kid who killed both of his grandparents, he's going to spend the rest of his life locked up. That kid that was bragging about raping his sister to death. The staff members, after one of those meetings where he was smiling, grinning ear to ear, he was so excited about telling us the story again. Some of us in there are victims. We are victims of sexual assault ourselves. Now, these lockup facilities like this, these are not co-ed. These are male-only fucking facilities. They're not going to put a girl in that fucking facility. This is not a fucking group home. This is not a fucking foster home. This is a place for violent fucking kids who fucking murder people. And yes, after one of those classes where that kid was smiling at another kid who was in there, telling him, when you go to sleep, I'm going to fucking rape you to death the way I did my sister. Smiling ear to ear while he said it. How many times did he rape his sister before he raped her to death? And the cops, what do they charge him with? The official cause of death. The official cause of death. They wrote down that she was raped to death. If your cousin's fucking raping you, and you tell your fucking mom, your mom should be doing everything in her power to turn in the fact that you were fucking raped, and she should be pushing that. And somebody should be making the calls with her. They should be making the calls to the local news agencies and backing her the fuck up. People should be calling the police and child protective services with her and backing her the fuck up. When my sister told me that people were threatening to kill her and my niece, I spoke up. I continue to speak up. I've got the evidence and the screenshots from my sister to prove it. My sister did tell me these things. She did make these claims. And you goddamn right, I'm going to continue speaking up. Yeah, my sister is probably full of shit. Maybe she is, maybe she's not. But do you think I am going to fucking risk Destiny's life over that? Not a chance in hell. You do not get to threaten my fucking family and I expect me to look the other way. When my little sister tells me that people are threatening to kill her and my niece, you are not going to find a way in hell to shut me up. And Kandace Edwards telling me that her daughter is being raped in the foster care home that she's in right now. Right this moment, she's in a foster care facility. Not a facility, is it? No, she's with a relative that she has told her mother that she has been raped by. Now, whether Kandace Edwards is schizophrenic or not, this does need to be fucking looked into. Just because somebody schizophrenic says it doesn't mean it's not true. You're going to wait until that 13-year-old boy rapes a 9-year-old to death? Is that what it's going to fucking take for you to do something? 5 children are killed in child care, foster care, every single day in America. That's over 1,000 a year. What's 5 times 365? Well, 5 times 5 is 25. We'll drop the 5 and we'll carry the 2. 6 times 5 is what? What's 6 times 5? That's 30, isn't it? You got the 2 that you carried over, don't you? What are you going to do with that? Are we doing math? Are we doing numbers? The stuff that autistic people are good at and Jews are good at? Are we doing numbers? Let's just go with 300 days out of the year. We'll make it real fucking simple for you. We'll pretend there's only 300 days out of the year. And 5 kids are killed every single day. What's 3 times 5? That's 15. Add 2 zeros to the end. 1,500. 1,500 children killed in child care, foster care in specific, every single year. It's even greater than that, obviously. We rounded it so it would be easy for you fucking simpletons. See, whether or not I think that your daughter should be with you or not is dependent upon you. However, I am not going to take accusations of abuse against children lightly. That is an extreme safety risk. When I was a kid, I needed a hero. As an adult, I see no reason to be the hero I needed as a child. I needed someone to fucking care about me and to fucking speak up. No, you do not take a child who is victimized and then shove him around in a bunch of facilities with violent people who kill their grandparents and rape their sisters to death. You do not fucking do that. I wasn't some 4-year-old crystal meth fucking junked out criminal mastermind on fucking 10,000 different drugs and a drunk and all that other shit at 4 years old. No, I was a fucking 4-year-old. That's what I was. A 4-year-old. Not a career criminal. Not a rapist. Not a murderer. A 4-year-old. Was I sent to those facilities when I was 4? No. They kept on shipping me around from foster home to foster home because my mom was eventually going to get custody of me. Temporary foster care system in the state of Colorado, you only get 2 weeks per foster home. You are not allowed to return to the same foster home, even if it was a good one. Because of attachment issues. They're trying to reconnect you with your family. My mom was a fucking junkie. A good family might have loved me. might have actually cared about me. A good family might have adopted me if my mom wasn't so hell-bent on getting what she wanted rather than what is important to the children and for the children's safety. It did not matter to her that she was an unfit parent. What mattered to her was only her selfish wants. Be goddamned what her children had to go through. Being raped, being molested, being beaten up for the color of their skin. I wasn't the only person in my family who was raped or molested in the system. So was my older brother Eric. But boys don't cry and boys don't speak up. We're expected to just shut up and go to the back of the bus. Well, my brother did speak up. All the way back in the 1980s. I spoke up all the way back in the 1980s. My brother's predator from Colorado Christian Home. My brother told on him, and that predator proceeded to go do it to other children in that exact same facility, the Colorado Christian Home. I want you to pay attention to that fucking name. So my brother's predator did get locked up eventually. When it first happened, no, nobody wanted to listen to my brother or believe him, but other victims came forward. Now there was a situation where I was locked up when I was a wee little kid. And of course, when you tell on your predators, they try pretending like you're schizophrenic, like you're crazy, like you're delusional. But the staff that are doing this aren't generally the doctors. It's just regular staff members. Back in the 1980s, if they were to work in a facility like that, you had to have a college degree. You had to be at least a registered nurse, or you weren't allowed in the facility. These are high-risk children. For me being in the temporary foster care system for 2.5 years, only 2 weeks per foster home, I want you to think to yourself that, yeah, let's say in that time that only 1 out of 10 foster homes was bad, and that's stretching it and being real nice to foster homes and foster families. Let's say 1 in 10 of them. Over a 2-year period, how many weeks are in a, 2.5-year period? How many weeks are in a year? 52, 54, 58, 60? We'll call it an even 50 to make it easier on you. We'll give you some more conservative numbers. A few numbers to give you the benefit of the doubt. Right? We'll round down for you assholes. Fuck that. I'm tired of it. I don't think Kandace Edwards is mentally capable of being a parent. I don't believe that Dallas Richmond is mentally capable of being a parent. I don't believe that Harley Richmond is mentally capable of being a parent. I don't believe that, of course, Amy Witcher is mentally capable of being a parent, and it is obvious Andrew Witcher is not capable of being a parent. My mother, Angela K. Bruns, a.k.a. Angela K. Wade, a.k.a. Angela K. Schwartz, a.k.a. Angela K. Hicks. And also, thank goodness, my mom didn't get married to the dozens of people she's cheated on her current husband with. Because that would be an awful lot of names to remember. So let's say there's only 50 weeks in a year. That means that's 25 foster homes per year. Now we're going to give you an extra conservative number because one of those is a half a year. So instead of 25, we'll roll it down to 24. So we'll say, what's 25 for the first year? 50, because that's the second year. Now, of course, for the third year, we've got 25, but we're going to cut that in half, right? So 25 cut in half is what, 12 and a half? We're going to take away the half. We're going to give that extra point to the conservatives. So that's an extra 12 right there. So we've got, what, 62 foster homes, right? 62, is that a correct number? If we're pretending that there's only 50 weeks in a year? Now, let's say that only 1 in 10 of those is a bad foster home. That's still 6 bad foster homes. How many weeks is that? Obviously, you're not allowed to go to the same one twice. So if it was bad, it was only bad for 2 weeks. 2 weeks times 6, that's 3 months. 3 months out of that time. And that's super conservative numbers, because as far as being shitty foster homes go, I was probably molested in 1 out of 6 foster homes. I was not fed the right amount of food, or even the food that the other people there were allowed to eat, because I had to eat from food pantry food, which oftentimes did have bugs in it. I probably had to eat food like that, probably 1 out of every 5 foster homes. I had to eat different food than they did, just the food from the food bank, and probably 2 out of 3 of them, however. Not all of them had bugs in them. Not every foster home ended up in me getting raped or molested. But imagine how fucked up that really mess a kid up. There was a couple of foster families. One of the guys, he bought a IROC Z, which is a real cool car back in the 80s. And he bought me a Camaro jacket when he bought that car. And he knew it was only a 2-week foster home. But they told me they really liked me, and they wished that they could adopt me. They wished that they could have had kids of their own. I wonder if my life would be different if I'd have been adopted to a family that loved me instead of being a victim of a family that only sees me as a mark, as a target. I'd only lived in chapel a couple of days after leaving my dad's house, 15 years old, when my mom started asking me if I could get her cocaine. No, I've never tried cocaine, and I'm never gonna. None of this gets Kandace Edwards' daughter into a safe situation where she's not being abused. Kandace Edwards is not helping me to get to a safe place where I won't be abused, because she doesn't even care what happened to me. She's only focused on her daughter, mostly for selfish reasons. Are you more pissed off that they took your daughter, or are you more pissed off that your daughter's being raped by her cousin? Are you going to allow her to be repeatedly raped by her cousin because you're busy trying to get her back instead of trying to protect her from that predator? Please, please, no victim left behind. When Selena Not Afraid disappeared, you guys shared one of my videos and watched it 14,000 times. 14,000. Much of it is because my predators wanted to pretend like they were certain that I had killed Selena Not Afraid. Maybe my predators will try pretending that I'm this young woman's cousin or some sicko shit like that. But you know what? As long as it gets you looking and gets you speaking out and gets that victim fucking help, God damn it, do what you gotta do. I have been to prison to protect children. I am not afraid to go back. Yes, I am afraid of prison. Yes, I am afraid of the way that I was treated in prison. Yes, I am afraid of that happening to me again. But I am more afraid of watching on the news, as I've had to do dozens and dozens of times. I'm afraid of watching the news and finding out that Kandace Edwards' daughter was fucking raped to death by that piece of shit because I didn't fucking speak up loud enough. If I would have started screaming at the top of my lungs at these stupid pieces of shit who just wanted to talk over me when I tried to explain it, would they have fucking listened? Kandace Edwards' daughter is being molested by her cousin in a foster home in Alabama. That is the crime that needs to be turned in. That is the crime that little girl needs a friend or family member to help her turn it in. That is the crime. Rape and molestation of an at-risk youth. Literally a child. Not a preteen, not a teen, not an adult, but a literal child. Is Kandace Edwards telling me these things just to try to manipulate me into helping her get her daughter back? Well, it doesn't matter. Because I'm not trying to help her get her daughter back. I'm trying to get her daughter safe. Actually safe. If you want to pretend like your daughter is only safe with you, you know, Amy Cleany Kingery tried playing that same bullshit. No, her children were not safe with her. She could not stay off of the methamphetamines. Her boyfriend couldn't stop smacking those children. When those girls tell me that those people were hitting them, well, yeah, I can believe that. When those girls were complaining to me that Rihanna had just hit them, I could see the marks on them. I could hear the smack, and in some situations saw the smack with my own two eyes, but the cops wouldn't listen to me. One of Amy Cleany Kingery's daughters already had 911 on speed dial and was getting ready to press the button. I encouraged her to do so. I said, you know what? If you press that button, you call 911 and you tell them what happened, I will back you up. She was afraid that I was going to automatically take Rihanna's side because Rihanna was my friend. No, not a fucking chance in hell. I don't care if you were my best friend to 20 fucking years. You do not get to fucking abuse children. I don't give a holy goddamn if you are Jesus Christ himself. With your 144,000 autistics. God, that's some fucking crazy shit, ain't it? She thinks the Illuminati had something to do with her birth. And thinks that 144,000 autistic people are all going to heaven. Thinks this is going to fix my problems if she just says this over and over again. That magically all my problems are going to go away because Kandace Edwards believes that 144,000 autistic people are going to heaven because some schizophrenic nut job told her so. He didn't read the Bible. You didn't read the Bible. Shut the fuck about God. Shut your fucking pie hole about God. You don't know shit about God. You know about Rambo. You know about violence. You know about hatred. You're telling me about all this stuff you had to learn on your own. No, I've had to learn this stuff on my own. A lot of people wanted to push the elder abuse thing on me. Elder abuse, elder abuse. Hey, Sean, have you ever looked into elder abuse? No, I hadn't. I'd never been elderly. When I was taught what an at-risk adult was, it wasn't specifically the elderly or the disabled. The elderly were considered to automatically fall under the guidelines of an at-risk adult who is disabled. Their age is considered to be a disability. Their mobility due to age is considered to be a disability. So elder abuse was already covered. Then people want to push me onto the elder abuse. Now they've separated the two. And for elder abuse, there's a different set of protocols of who you even talk to. But in all events, whether you are a child, a disabled adult, or an elderly adult, the first thing on the list is always to go to a friend or family member, because it's assumed that your friend or family member are supposed to love you, are supposed to care about you. If something bad is happening to you, instead of talking over you like you're a retard, they're supposed to care to put a stop to it. I had to sit at the back of the bus and watch hell unfold. Watch my predator, Waylon Lolatai, pull a shotgun on Zayd Atkinson. Watch my predator, Waylon Lolatai, shove Kelly Clark. He could have fucking killed her doing that. All he wanted to do was hurt people. I got to see my predator, Waylon Lolatai, assault Sammy Leon Lawrence IV. And I had to do so from the back of the bus. Because nobody cared about me. Nobody cared to listen to me. And I got to watch my predator harm more people. Body after body after body. My friends didn't want to listen to me about Waylon Lolatai. They wanted me to just let it go. They did not stop to consider how much it hurt me every time he hurt someone else. Because he could have been stopped before he ever pulled his shotgun on on Zayd Atkinson, before he ever assaulted Sammy Leon Lawrence IV. Before he ever went out of his way to assault a girl. Oh, more than one girl. That's right. It's never okay to hit a woman unless you're Waylon Lolatai. Then it's okay for you to assault Michelle Clark. Then it's magically okay because you're Officer Waylon Lolatai. It's magically okay for you to beat on a tiny woman like Michelle Rodriguez. She is tiny, you motherfucker. Do I just fight for the children? No, I fucking fight for adults too. I am still fighting to try to get Jamie and Hood River somewhere where it's not being controlled, where the church lot is being controlled like it is a fucking prison yard. And Jamie is the most at-risk person there. So she is the most abused there. I got to see it daily, but nobody cared. They wanted to talk about how they cared, how Jamie is their friend, and they wouldn't let anything happen. Oh shit, somebody just hit her. I'm going to cover my face. I didn't see nothing. Sure you didn't. I'm not going to pretend for one moment that I didn't hear Kandace Edwards telling me about her daughter being fucking raped. She does not deserve to be fucking raped. She doesn't deserve to be forced to live with her fucking predators. Like Amy Kalina Kingery's children. Like Amy Witcher's children. Like Angela Wade's children. My little sister should never have had to take my niece and go and live with a registered pedophile and be that registered pedophile's caretaker in order to flee abuse from my predators. My predators. When my sister said she had a safe place that she could go, she did not tell me that safe place was with a fucking registered goddamn pedophile. I had to find that out from Amanda Daniels and Riley Lawton, my niece's dad. Between my little sister and Riley, which one do I believe cares more about my niece? Riley. Hands down. My sister used her daughter as a fucking tool of manipulation. To my knowledge, Riley has never done such a thing. Ever. Do I believe that Tara ran away because Riley beat her up? I don't know what to believe in that situation. I wasn't there. When I went up to Nebraska, it was because my sister was missing. My sister was a missing person. I wasn't there to kill anybody. I wasn't there to get revenge. I was there to find my fucking sister. And in this situation, my job is to try to get one of you guys who's not homeless, because I won't be hurt. My job is to try to get one of you to help Kandace Edwards in getting her daughter out of a situation where she's being fucking raped before she ends up a corpse. And I have to look from the back of the bus and see this on the news. When I saw that Jeannie Gatlin, one of the people that I stayed with after Natalie was killed, and I tried to turn in the situation with the child abuse in that household, and I went to Jerry Sparks about that situation. Do you think Jerry Sparks cares for one moment that Jeannie Gatlin killed her son a year to the day after Natalie was killed? A year to the fucking day. Almost a full year after I let Miss Jerry Sparks of Glatton Gateway, Montana, I let her know about the abuse in that household, about that little girl who got kicked in the face by a fucking meth addict, and her parents did nothing. Imagine my surprise when I saw Jeannie Gatlin on the news because she had killed her own son. No, I am not going to have Caitlin Edwards' daughter end up on the nightly fucking news because I said nothing. I will be goddamned if I will ever allow that. But as you could tell with Tybor Hatay, I didn't allow that. Clearview just killed him. I didn't allow them to kill him. I wasn't there to stop him. My voice could have made all the difference in the world. But you're too busy talking over me, telling me how wrong I am. And then, of course, when they kill somebody else, you want to play fucking stupid like I never told you nothing. Regardless of how you may feel about me, and regardless of how I may feel about this Edwards lady, I want you to reach out to her, ask her if some fucking sicko is fucking raping her daughter, molesting her daughter. Ask her who it is. Help her turn it in immediately, not 10 years down the road. Don't give her 10,000 places to call alone. Don't make her go to this fucking schizophrenic shit that she tried to turn me on to. The guy is obviously delusional as fuck. He's obviously telling tall tales and taking advantage of at-risk adults like Kandace Edwards. I cannot consider her anything except an at-risk adult because of the things that she has said, because of the things that she has done, because of her inability to actually listen to another person without interrupting them like they're retarded. The fact that she believes that the Illuminati had something to do with her birth. The fact that because this man told her that 144,000 autistic people are going to heaven, he also told this thing to me, same conversation. Then, every time I bring up autism, it's like a mantra. Every time you use the wrong word, like say, of course, you're on an island where everybody there speaks English, but their God's name is the. And the idea is that every time that you say the, they're supposed to say the power of the. So, of course, you got yourself a cruise ship that you showed up there with, and all of these people who worship the. They all showed up on the cruise ship with you, and they all need to leave on the cruise ship with you. But you say, hey, the cruise ship is sinking. Oh, the power of the. You say again, the ship is sinking. And they say, the power of the. It's the same exact goddamn thing. Hey, these people are abusing me because I'm autistic. Oh, 144,000 autistic people are going to heaven. These people are using assumptions about autism and wives' tales that were proven to be wrong in the 1990s. Oh, well, 144,000 autistic people are going to heaven. 144,000 autistic people are going to heaven. The power of the. It doesn't matter what the fucking mantra is. You're missing the point. What are the protocols when your daughter tells you that she is being molested? You are her go-to. You are her trusted adult. You are her trusted friend. You're the one that she went to. It is your job to help your daughter to get justice. It is your job to help your daughter to get safe. It is my job to get your daughter safe as well. It takes a village to raise a child. My mother never should have had access to me. My father never should have had access to me. These are too selfish of people. But even they won't find out about autism. They learned about the freeze loop. My dad, all he'll do after that is, oh, well, it's my fault because the freeze loop. I chose it because the freeze loop. It didn't happen because the freeze loop, the freeze loop, the freeze loop. Out of all of the things that he could have learned about autism, out of all of the things in the 3 videos, a grand total of 3 of them, each one of them far less than an hour long. Between the 3 of those videos, he could have learned so much about autism, but the only thing that he actually learned was that he could use the freeze loop to try to pretend it was my fault. I'm not allowed to bring up the fact that I grew up in the system because him and mom couldn't stay off of cocaine. I'm not allowed to bring up the fact that I was raped and molested and beaten repeatedly. I'm not allowed to bring up the fact that I was drugged when I tried telling on my fucking predators. But my dad's allowed to bring up the fact that he was in prison for something he actually did. I'm not allowed to bring up the fact that me and my older brother Eric were both locked up in places that we were raped and molested and assaulted for the color of our skin because you fucked up. I'm not allowed to bring up your fuck up, but you're allowed to treat me like shit because I grew up in a fucking facility. A bunch of facilities. And a bunch of foster homes. And so did Eric Christopher Schwartz, my older brother. Fuck this goddamn country and everybody in it. You helped Kandace Edwards to get her daughter out of that situation. You helped to get her daughter to a safe foster home. A foster home where she's not being raped. And you fucking keep up with it. You make sure that little girl is kept safe. Don't just assume that because she's moved to another place that it means that she won't be victimized there. There is a chance that she will. There's also the chance that, well, what did Josh Rayborn, one of the abusers of Amy Kalina Kingery's kids, what did he have to say about the situation? He said that after those girls were taken to the foster home, they were able to get a good one. They even wrote a letter to the judge saying that they didn't want to go back to live with their mom. They wanted to stay at the foster home. I hope those foster parents adopt them. I hope they treat them like the wonderful excuses for human beings that they could have had an opportunity to be if they weren't being raised by people, well, by wolves, as Natalie Bollinger would have described them. Wolves. I don't believe that Kandace Edwards is capable of being a good parent in her current state of mind. There's a possibility that some of her mental instability is because of abuse and long-term ongoing abuse. That's not my fault, but I can feel bad for her about that. She needs to recover mentally before she can get her kids back, if that is the case. But she needs her kids in order to recover. If her kids are afraid that she's going to victimize them, and her kids say they're afraid of being victimized by their mother, I'm not going to force those kids to go to their mother. There is not a chance in hell that I would force Amy Kalina Kingery's children to go back and live with Amy Kalina Kingery. There's not a chance in hell that I'm going to help Amy to get that. We gave her the benefit of the doubt that she had cleaned up and that she was off the drugs. And what the fuck did she do? Got all fucked up on drugs again. Fucking sold all my stuff or traded it for fucking meth. And threw their kids away so they can go fucking party in Colorado and do more fucking meth. Fuck it. Good to be with you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper, and no victim left behind. Not even Kandace Edwards' daughter. She doesn't deserve to be raped. She doesn't deserve to be stuck in a situation where she has to live with her predator and normalize it as if it's okay, as if it's an everyday thing that everybody has to go through, because it's fucking not. It's fucking sick.